Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Peace. Welcome to another video. So, who do I have here today?
You have your son, Brian. I am 12 years of age. He's got me trapped in this basement. Someone help me.
Yes, trapped in the basement of glory. All right, so you topped a tournament recently.
Yeah, I won a 10-man locals while everyone was out at the YCS.
Free! So you got first place. How many rounds?
4.
What deck did you play?
I played Dragon Link at the assistance of my friend saying it's better than Virtual World, and unfortunately after this tournament I have to agree.
It does brick less, but congratulations on your win. Are you going to show us the spice?
Yeah, I will. Okay, let's just get into this because it's Dragon Link. Everyone knows what it does, but I'm just going to explain. So, 3 safer.
Yeah.
Most of the time people think of this as just the card that gets you to your baby dragons, but most of the time, like, you're probably going to get stopped there. Everyone's on Lancia, so sometimes it's just better to turn us into Striker Dragon and try and combo through there. Because if you open yourself up to Lancia, you kind of just pass. So most of the times, I'm just trying to, like, jam this on the field as a normal summon instead of actually just using it to start my combo. So that's safer. For the Rockets, we play the usual 3 Tracer, 2 Synchron, 1 Recharger. Recharger's low-key the best card in the deck. You use it with Striker Dragon, of course, but it's also really good to use with Quad Boral so that you don't have to make awkward plays to get the Synchro monsters. You summon this out in either one of these tuners and you summon out something else out, like a Chamber, you can summon out Brotar, you can summon out Chaos Ruler, so you can summon it again with its own effect. The list continues. Patrick will crucify me for this one. I main deck 3 Noctivision Dragon.
This is incorrect, by the way, everyone. Just so you guys know.
That's a lie. Don't listen to his propaganda. Anyway, you play 3 of this, in my opinion, right now, because everyone's on Ghost Ogre for the Adventurer package. And this helps you chain block your Striker Dragon so that you can get to Romulus and make sure you're able to dump the cards you need. And the extra draw just really helps for comboing through boards and stuff.
So it blocks your Striker Dragon so you can get to your Ravine that will just eat the Ogre anyway.
Yes, but by that point, you've cycled through your deck some more and you're more likely to have the cards you need.
Okay, fair.
That's just it's another Dragon Body. It comes up.
Yeah, and it does give you a draw.
2 Absoluter. I'm down to cut this to 1, but I was new to the deck, so I was playing 2. It hasn't bricked me yet.
Okay, I hate you.
Like, if I draw it, I can just special with another rocket and use it as a body. It's not the worst, but I'd play 1 once I get better at the deck. The 1 Chamber, you play as a Tidying because it helps you not lose to Mystic Mine, and that particular engine is just really good for grinding out against like decks like Eldritch.
Gold.
I'll get a secret eventually. The 1 Brotar. Most of the time, this is a normal summon, but it comes up if your opponent, like, Gammas you. I got Gammaed and I forgot to use it, so I don't think that's... In theory, it's great. It's been helpful. You can summon it off Pisty, off Recharger.
I like Brotar. It searches Nibiru if you get nibbed.
That is true, but that's only when I decide it in.
Yeah.
I'm not main right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, me neither.
Chaos stuff, you know, the 1 black, the 1 white, the 1 Levy. Best cards in the deck outside of Recharger. Like, these just let you combo through Interruption. If you draw a Chaos Space, you win. Mm-hmm. And then Levy, of course, is just the same big bad asshole everyone loves. I wish you could play more, but you shouldn't because it's not good to draw.
Yeah, this is Endanger Thunder.
Okay, so that's it for the dragons. For the hand traps, I main 9, 3 Lancia. It's the best hand trap in the game right now. Mm-hmm. It stops water. It stops water enchantress of the temple. It stops the mirror match. It's good against Invoke, Dogmatica. It's got a lot of other applications.
Flandries, Phantom Knights, so many things.
It's so good. 3 Ogre. This is mainly to stop Adventurer because if they get set up, you're probably not playing through their board because they usually just use it to isolate their combo. And you really want to stop them from doing that so you can hit them with your other hand traps. 3 Veiler, it's just good general utility hand trap. It helps negate good starters, like, say, I don't know, like in the mirror match, you stop, like, Seyfert or Striker Dragon. Against other decks, you can, like, just hit their starter, and most of the time, they have to either have an extender or pass. Again, Veiler's just a good card, and as you notice, these are all life, so Chaos Ruler can add anyone to your hand. Anyway, so that's it for the monsters in the main deck. For the spells, I'm on 10. We played 3 Chaos Space. It doesn't need any explanation. It's just insane. 3 Quick Launch, same thing. Just summon a dragon from deck for free. As for your quote-unquote Briggs, Boot Sector Launch, and Dragon Ravine, it's really taken me a while to understand just how broken Boot Sector Launch actually is. Like, Striker Dragon literally just adds you a fucking extender, and then you get to pop that extender to summon another extender from your deck. It's stupid.
Yes.
And then Ravine is just like your one-stop shop to sculpt your hand into what you want. You can send Absolute or turn on Boot. You can send Chamber by pitching Tidying. You can send Levy if you normal summon Safer. It's so good. Waluigi Guard Dragon. It's good. It doesn't come up very often. That's mostly because I can combo without it. I'll probably cut it in the future, but it doesn't hurt to play.
Yeah.
Shout out to Patrick for lending me this one.
Oh, yeah.
And the one Called by the Grave. Again, everyone's on Lancia, so it's good to have this in the main. It's a good utility card. You can just set and mess it with the opponent next turn. And you can protect it with Noctivision, which is really useful.
Yes.
And then the 2 Tidying to help combo with the Chamber. Even if you don't draw the Chamber, like I said, you can also just pitch this with Ravine to send Chamber. Or you can just set it. Like, Tidying, a bounce is still a good effect, especially if you can back it up with Spheres. Anyway, that's it for the main deck. It is 40. For the extra deck, we're on pretty standard stuff. 1 Striker Dragon. Like, this is arguably the best card in the extra deck just because it's just a level 4 Link 1 Dragon you slap on the field with any level 4 or lower.
They had to limit it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but I think the Limited Striker Dragon was more impactful than the LP ban.
Probably, because even just using Pisty is hard now because like a lot of times I'm using Pisty as a Link 1, like whereas like I would rather it be a Striker Dragon.
Exactly. Where again, Striker Dragon has no restriction on it. It's just a really good card. But hey, it's limited for a reason. It's really good. As we were talking about Pisty, this is probably the least on card my deck, but still really good. Like if you can like banish Striker Dragon for white and then shuffle back with Chaos Face, you can set up those arrows.
Yeah.
You can also play Trouble Burst for this, and if your opponent makes like an Appaloosa or something, you can enable zones. It doesn't come up all the time, but when it does, it's pretty good. So we play it. 1 Spheres. Some lists play 2, and I played 2 when I was first getting into the deck again. But once I realized that if you get nibbed, you're probably not summoning any more light monsters from your deck. You always lock yourself into darks before you actually like end on your board. So it's not as simple as just a combo through and end up on a second Spheres, because you're usually dark locked. So I like to have more utility in my extra deck outside of just having second Spheres for the grind game. Because if I resolve the first Spheres, I'm probably going to win next turn. But yeah, you always play this in Dragon Link. It's outside of Striker Dragon, it's the best card in the extra deck. 1 Masquerena. The effect of the Link summon is really nice, but honestly, the best thing about this card is that it's a generic Dark Link 2 you can just throw 2 monsters into. Like, Dark is there, but this is just something you can slap on the field. And of course, making Unicorn on your opponent's turn is really good.
Yes.
And Unkillable Boral Sword is a really good way to insulate yourself against combo decks, because their main resources to out your cards are things like Nightmare Unicorn, which it's probably their main source of removal. But on that is DPE and access code, and it's kind of hard to kill a card with those if you can't destroy by card effects.
Or battle.
Exactly. Quad Whirl, this is really good for comboing because it lets you turn like a rocket and any other dragon into exactly what you need. Like just summon back like Synchron and Recharger, and then Recharger effect summon back whatever else you need to go into Savage or Chaos Ruler. But most of the time you'll just be summoning Tracer and Recharger and going to Savage. It's fine. Romulus gets you Ravine. Not much else to say. Just really good card. I want to use its second effect to summon from hand, but it's never going to come up. 1 Dark Starlight Rare. You don't need the Starlight. Don't worry about that. This card is disgusting. If you bait a DPE, you summon it out and they don't get it back. Like my buddy Patrick plays Drytron deck with DPE, and I like to summon it out of his graveyard, so he has to summon one of his other heroes from grave, and then his shuts off his Drytron monsters.
I hate you.
Yeah, really degenerate in the mirror match, by the way.
You super degenerate. Dark is crazy.
It's so good. The 1 Unicorn, it's really good with IP or just for laddering into access code. That's really why it's here. It's just a nice piece of removal. Triple Burst, I wasn't sold on this at first, but I've warmed up to it. It's good for enabling Pissy Arrow. It's got a decent attack stat. The effect is fine. And just the fact that it's another Link 3 Dark monster you can use to ladder into access code if you don't want to use Unicorn quite yet is really nice. Speaking of access code, he's right here. Best Link 4 in the game. You make him, if your opponent hasn't Lancia'd you threaten their field. They have to use an interruption on this. And if they don't have an interruption, you just win. Speaking of just winning, Boral Sword. Not all Dragon Link decks play both of these cards, but I think Boral Sword is just so good. Like, not many people are actually expecting it. Whenever they see you like put a bunch of monsters in the field, they're getting ready for access code talker. Whereas Boral Sword can kind of just help punch through big fields. Like, I remember I played against what was his name? Eric Arias on 10E Sword Soul. And he had the Sword Soul guy that gains attack for each banish card and lowers your attack. And the only out I had in my extra deck, because I'd already used my Unicorn, was Boral Sword. So I made this and killed him with it. Because it was huge. So Boral Sword gained half attack and then went shot to like 5,000 or something after that. And I just killed him with it.
Nice.
It's just really nice to have this be able to clear over any huge monster. And the battle protection is really nice too when your opponent's low on resources. Chaos Ruler is one of the strongest cards in the game. I genuinely think that if they really want to hit Dragon Link, they'd hit this guy. Because this is your best level 8 Synchro by far. It starts your combos, it digs through your deck, it loads your graveyard with monsters you can banish for your Chaos cards, and just getting you follow-ups like Tidying, Chamber, Levy, the baby dragons. Like, there's a reason this is the reason I cut the second spheres, is because getting to this early is so important that you lock yourself into darks really early trying to get there. So I always try to prioritize, try to get the spheres without using Dark Lock, and then make this. If you're doing that, you're probably fine. Savage, of course, you play this. It's just your generic rank level 8 monster negate. Well, not monster negate, just Omni negate. Don't make this if you don't have a Link monster in your graveyard. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Hot Red is my favorite card in the extra deck just because, like, he's cool. You make him with Chaos Ruler and Rocket Synchron, and you get to summon back your tuners, your Ghost Ogre. I don't know, this is just a right card. The negate is nice too. And then Zombie Vampire. If you notice, I'm not playing Galactic Spiral Dragon, and that's a little contentious, but my mindset is that you play Dark to rip your opponent's monsters out of their graveyard and use them to overlay into this. You play Levy, which isn't that hard to find, and Chaos Ruler is your best card anyway, so you're always making that. So if you can make this, you should, because it lets you mess with your opponent's deck, like send Enforcer pieces for the DPE package. If you're in a mirror match, you win. If you're up against a deck that really just doesn't want certain cards in the graveyard, this is really useful. It's just a really good card to dig through and try and win the game off of milling your opponent out of their important cards. In the mirror match, again, it's disgusting, not just because you can steal your opponent's dragons, but because you get to mill their Boot Sector launch. Shout out to Steve, who did that to me yesterday. Anyway, that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, I do not play on a budget, so it's kind of expensive. 3 triple tech. I want to main this because this card comes up almost every game with everyone playing Lancia and a bunch of hand traps to not lose to Brave. Like, I can't explain or put into words how good this card actually is. Like, you can only get that feeling from playing with it.
Yeah.
But all of the effects are so fucking good. You have to play this card if you're playing this deck. That is my opinion. In some capacity, whether you main it or side it. 3 Lightning Storm. It comes up sometimes. I use it against back row decks for the most part. You can probably play Dark Ruler no more instead, and you wouldn't lose too much from this. But Duster is definitely something I'd play if I wasn't playing Lightning Storm. Just have something to beat back row decks, whether it's Cosmic, Twin Twisters, or this. Just don't lose to Monkey. 3 Forbidden Droplet. You could pretty easily trade this for Chalice and not lose that too much, but I like that you can shut off your opponent's response window. Like, if you're playing against fucking DPE Scythe, you can stop them from finding a way to turn off your Droplet and just get into their engine anyway. But again, like, your mileage may vary in this, but this is $100 for a reason. It's a very good card. 3 Nibiru in the side, just for siding against combo decks. I don't think it's good enough to main right now because everyone's on Brave and they put up a negate in their 3rd summon. But you gotta have this in some capacity because you don't want to just run into a random FTK in the locals and get killed. And then 3 Droll Lockbird. This is probably the most contentious card on the side, but I think it's worth maining. Not maining. I think it's worth siding just because a lot of decks search a ton. Like, this is insane against Invoke Dogmatica because they're going to be searching in some capacity, and this just shuts them down, especially if they start with Meltdown. But you do have to be wary of Gamma. That's something you gotta watch out for with most hand traps. But it's just a generic good hand trap. The only problem with it is that it's a winged monster and not a light or dark. So if I
imagine, dude,
that'd be disgusting. Anyway. If I cut this for anything, it might be like DD Crow. Just because, like, just good banish, but we'll get there. That's it for the deck. Again, shout out to Patrick for lending me his Warlock Cigar Dragon and giving me the idea to play the deck. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Brian. Bye-bye.